May I have a seat?
Not here.
I know. She has a 2 o'clock biology lab.
Yes, she has. I just put her in a cab and was about to go myself. Peter Davis, isn't it?
David, son.
Oh, sorry. Poor memory when it comes to names.
Yeah. Well, maybe I can help you there, because I think you're going to be hearing a lot of it. Hey, come on, boy. Have a seat. I think we need to talk.
You tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
State your name.
David Phillips.
Be seated.
Dr. Phillips, would you please state for the record your occupation and your address? Number 22 Colby Place, Kingsley. I'm an obstetrician, but presently in general practice of the Chesterfield Free Clinic. I see. Now, Dr. Phillips, you are on trial for the first-degree murder of your ex-wife, Kate Phillips Carruthers. It is inherent in our Constitution that a man be allowed to face his accusers and to testify on his own behalf if he should so desire. Now, why have you waited until this time to exercise that privilege? Because until my daughter's testimony yesterday, I didn't feel I needed to. I do now.
Everything Stacy said on this witness stand is true. When we first talked after Kate's death, I couldn't swear that I was innocent. I mean, how could I? I didn't remember what I did or where I went after I left the clinic that afternoon.
But now you claim your memory's back. How'd that happen?
Well, certain testimonies that witnesses gave keyed off my recollection.
Okay, Dr. Phillips, let's go back to the afternoon of Thursday, September the 29th, before the evening of the murder. Now, in your statement to the police, you said that you left the clinic at 5:30?
That's right after we closed. Lucy said that Miss Figgins, our nurse, said that she would lock up. My allergies were already getting the best of me by then.
That was when you started taking the medication that was given to you by mistake, the sulfazoxazole?
Yes, that's right. I took 2 of them then. And Lucy said that I should go home and rest.
Did you?
No, I didn't. I went to Leon's. I remember getting caught in the rush hour traffic.
Just a second, Doctor. Leon's, when you say that, is that some friend of yours or what?
No. Leon's Diner.
I see. You can go ahead.
I went there for dinner. In fact, Leon himself waited on me. I had trouble deciding what I wanted.
You have a witness then that saw you at Leon's Diner about, must have been what, about 6 o'clock?
Well, it was later than that. As I said, the traffic was bad and the weather had turned bad. It was raining. The national news was on the radio when I arrived at the diner.
I see what you mean. So that must have been between 6:30 and 7 then. How long did you stay there?
Well, it was a little over an hour, long enough to run into Andrea Summers.
Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, now Miss Summers, in her testimony on the stand, did not mention the meeting with Dr. Phillips, simply because she wasn't asked about it. But in her statement to the police, she said that that meeting did take place and that it occurred about 8:30 p.m. on the evening in question.
I have read the information, Mr. Webster. Continue on.
Thank you. Dr. Phillips, please tell the jury and the court what Miss Summers said to you.
Well, the extent of it was that Kate and Lee were having marital problems and that Kate was already back in town.
Not honeymooning in Avalon Springs, but back here in Kingsley?
That's right.
Well, how did you react to this unexpected news?
Well, I was concerned. I wanted to see her.
Did you want to see her immediately?
That was my intention, but I didn't get there right away.
Miss Carruthers' maid, Rose Montero, said that you woke her up about 1 o'clock in the morning. Now that's a whole 4.5 hours later.
Yes, it must have been around that time.
Now the question, Doctor, is what did you do during that 4.5 hours?
I took 2 pills right before leaving the diner because I was really feeling badly again. At that time, I didn't realize that pills were causing my problem. I walked out the diner, it was raining, and on my way to the car, I slipped and fell.
Slipped and fell on the sidewalk?
No, in the mud. I'd parked in the overflow lot. Well, I was sneezing and soaking wet, and I sat sitting in the car, waiting for the sneezing to die down. And I dozed off because when I woke up, Leon's was closed.
What time was Leon's closed?
During the week at midnight.
I see. Did you happen to notice just exactly what time it was when you woke up?
No, I didn't, but I remember that my shirt was almost dry, so it had to have been some time later. I then took 2 more pills and drove over to Kate's.
Where you entered her house tracking mud on her carpet, mud which was later matched up to the same kind found on your shoes when the police arrested you.
I wasn't thinking about wiping my feet. I wanted to see Kate. And Rose wasn't giving me any help. That's when I decided that Kate had probably gone over to Amber's.
So you then drove over to your daughter's apartment?
Yes, as fast as I could. It had started raining again. I remember thinking how hard it was to see the road. Well, I drove up and parked. And that's the last thing I remember until the police officer found me the next morning in the same place.
Which was several hours after Kate had been killed. Now, do you have any recollection at all about leaving your car before the police found you?
No, I don't.
Do you remember going into Amber's apartment?
No.
Are you absolutely certain that you did not set foot inside the apartment building itself?
I am positive I never left my car.
And that explains why there was no mud at all found inside Amber's apartment or in the apartment building. Unlike the case at Ms. Carruthers' house. Your Honor, I don't have any more questions. Thank you.
There's no need for you to defend your relationship with Courtney, Peter. She's told me all about you.
She did.
Of course. Would you like something to drink?
No, thanks. What did she say?
Well, after that most unfortunate introduction at her uncle's the other evening, she cleared things up with me. Thank you for showing her around Kingsley.
Oh, that's what she said, huh? I'm a tour guide?
It's what she didn't say that matters. Courtney can be very modest, in case you haven't noticed.
Picked up on that, yeah.
Then maybe you also picked up on the fact that she goes out of her way not to hurt a person's feelings. Even when it becomes trying, as in the other night, with you dragging her to that dance.
She was excited about going to the dance until you showed up.
Look, I don't know how to explain this to you. Courtney felt sorry for you, Peter. This sort of generous behavior has happened before. You don't believe me?
I might if she told me that.
There was a tennis player one summer at camp. A virtual nobody without a racket in his hand. He made the mistake of latching onto Courtney. Courtney made the mistake of treating him as her social equal.
Oh, there's a hint in there somewhere for me?
A helpful one. As politely as possible. Sticking to one's kind certainly cuts out unnecessary social strain.
Courtney is my friend.
And my fiancée. We've practically been engaged since she was in prep school.
Well, then what's the big deal, huh? Why? Does it bother you, our relationship, huh? Why should it?
It doesn't bother me. It's you I'm worried about. I don't want you to read into this any more than what's there.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay. You're looking out for me. You're worried about me. Ah,
Quite naturally, you find that hard to believe.
quite naturally.
Look, Peter, Courtney periodically does this to make me jealous. Well, especially when we've been separated for long periods of time. She can't bear to be alone, so she tries to make up for it. I think you understand what I'm saying.
I'm beginning to.
Good. I wouldn't want her to mislead you any further. It's unnecessary for Courtney, and it could be devastating for you.
It's amazing. She went from caring and modest to conniving in the same breath. What do you make of that, huh?
Well, it seems as though you can't face the truth.
Not your brand of it, no. Hey, I'll tell you what. I'll tell Courtney that I ran into you.
Please do. And while you're at it, say your goodbyes.
Dr. Phillips, are you familiar with the term selective amnesia?
Yes, I am.
Would you kindly explain it to the jury? Just exactly what does it mean?
Well, I'm not a psychologist, but generally speaking, it means it's the same as retrograde amnesia. A loss of memory for events occurring before the trauma causing the condition.
But the patient can recall the events he chooses to remember, can't he?
Yes, as in selective amnesia.
That sounds like selective memory. If he can forget it well, he can remember it.
Well, something like that.
Your memory seems selective now that it's back. You had a complete blackout for 10 straight hours. And then all of a sudden, you're able to recall specific details on the night of the murder.
Well, it wasn't all of a sudden. Some of it came back
It
gradually.
wasn't all of a sudden. Then you don't have total recall.
Well, that's not what I'm saying.
Oh, what is it you're saying, Dr. Phillips? Frankly, I don't follow you.
My memory started coming back when I saw Andrea Summers again. As I said before, seeing her triggered it. And after that, I was able to put bits and pieces back together again.
All those lost hours.
I've already explained every place I went from the time I left the clinic that afternoon.
Yes, you have. What about those 4.5 hours that you said you were sleeping in the parking lot, the overflow parking lot of Leon's Diner? You have witnesses who saw you in the diner. Did anybody see you sleeping in the car?
Not that I know of.
Well, then we only have your word for it that you were there that long.
I had to have been.
Hey, you had to have been. You had to have been sleeping in another parking lot another time where they find the murder weapon. Did anybody see you sleeping there?
Well, no, but...
Were you there for 4 hours? 10? How many hours were you there?
I don't know. I didn't count them. It was through the night.
Through the night. But you didn't even waken once to, let's say, take your medication again.
No.
Because, as you said, the medication had already rendered you unconscious.
Yes.
But yet you had the time to drive from Kate Carruthers' house to your daughter's apartment. Did it take that long for the pills to take effect?
Yes.
Yet you took the same dosage, and you were knocked unconscious almost by the time you got to the car from the diner. Oh, well, that is what you said, isn't it, Dr. Phillips?
Well, yes, that's what I said, but, I mean, you have to consider that the... Well, I mean, I'd like to explain that
Well, what would you like to explain? Would you like to change your testimony?
No.
Objection, Your Honor. Prosecution is not allowing the witness time to answer the question. In addition to that, he's leading it.
Objection sustained.
Do you know what you're asking the jury to do, Dr. Phillips? You're asking us to believe in your memory the night of the crime. And your memory is impaired by a drug.
Was impaired. It isn't anymore.
Oh, according to whom? You? Do you have a second opinion from another doctor corroborating your opinion? Well, do you, Dr. Phillips?
No, I don't.
No, Ben isn't here, but even if he were, he wouldn't run you off.
Oh, I can't be too sure about that. Doug's told you the whole story, hasn't he?
What story? You've been talking to Doug?
Oh, well, I guess you don't know that.
What?
Listen, could I have something to drink? I've just been under such pressure lately.
Would you like some coffee?
Well, if that's all you have. Okay.
Sure, I'll put some on.
He is paying for my suite at the King's Arms Hotel. He sends me a dozen roses every single week. You know, there are times when he just puts everything else aside, including his own business, just to be with me. I just can't overlook that.
You mean you just don't want to give it up? Why are you so afraid, Nancy?
I'm not afraid of anything.
What about the truth? Aside from the fact that Ben saved your life, can't you see what you're doing to his career as a doctor?
Don't you see that I deserve a chance at happiness just like everyone else?
But you have a chance.
Yeah, sure, if I make it myself. I don't care whether Dan wants me. I want him.
Well, he is not yours, Nancy. No matter what he has told you about divorcing his wife, you've seen them. You've seen how they carry on. Now he is lying to you.
That's not necessarily so.
Nancy.
I don't care what you say, Lori. I need him.
Mrs. Lucas,
Yes, Mr. Carpenter, did you need me?
would you mind explaining this?
I don't understand.
How did my unlisted telephone number get on this solicitation?
I don't know. I certainly didn't hand it out.
Well, the museum got a hold of it, and they say here that a Jeremy Lancelot is going to contact me.
Oh, yes, Mr. Lancelot.
Well, then you did give the number out.
No, I did not, but your brother did.
Preston?
Yes, he had me place the call and said that Mr. Lancelot would be working for you, sir.
Working. And we are pleased to inform you that by unanimous approval, you have been appointed a director of the museum, and that its curator, Jeremy Lancelot, will get in touch with you shortly.
You're actually going to be on the museum board.
Oh, it certainly seems so, but
Oh, I think it's absolutely marvelous.
oh, I didn't know that you were a patron of the arts.
Oh, yes, there's a few I like. El Greco and Raphael, of course, and Gainsborough. But I'm not so keen on that modern bent. They're too vague for me.
Well, when I make my first official tour of inspection, why don't you come along? You might see something you like.
Oh, you don't mind?
Well, I don't see why not. After all, they've given me this job. Let's make the most of it.
You know, your brother is a very generous man.
Ho, 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 ho. Don't you be blinded by his charm. He wants something from me, and I know exactly what it is. He wants me to keep a very tight rein on Courtney while she's here in Kingsley.
Oh, responsibility you'll do very well. And she could probably use your supervision.
And rest assured she'll get it, too. First, to guarantee my own directorship on the shipping line board, and secondly, on behalf of my dear brother Preston, to prevent him from losing the company to Vaughn Sumner and his family.
No comment.
Just tell me, who's going to be your next witness?
No comment, Gene.
Well, then tell me this.
Is it really Dave's idea to testify or yours? Gene, just read the transcript, okay? Thanks for nothing. You're welcome.
Maybe next time, Gene.
Yeah, sure. Maybe next time.
Why don't you come over to Ione's with me and have spaghetti?
Oh, no, Babs. I gotta wait and see McCormick. He didn't call, did he? About that unidentified set of fingerprints found on the panning car over at Amber's place?
No, not yet.
What's taking him so long?
Well, you did say it could belong to anybody with 2 hands and 10 fingers. It could take some time.
Babs, we're running out of time. We are out of time. I don't have any more magic witnesses to pull out of my magic hat.
Yeah, but the fight's not over yet. I mean, you still got your sleeves rolled up. You're not going to quit now, are you?
Oh, that's not my style, even when I'm taking a beating.
Well, we could use a miracle.
Yeah, a big one.
According to Ione, that's the only kind there is. Well, I'll see you back at the office.
Yeah.
You're still the best lawyer this side of the Supreme Court as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Big miracle.
know, you're making it real easy for me to appear to be the strong, silent type.
You should have come.
Better here than at your apartment alone. Shades pulled down. Thinking about your testimony today.
It was my stupid testimony that forced the DA to accuse Dad of selective amnesia.
Hey, didn't he tell you it was okay and not to worry?
Yeah. And then I told him to get out of my apartment when he wouldn't accept my responsibility for what I said on the stand.
That's the way your father is. He knows what you're going through. He doesn't want you carrying that guilt around.
Yeah, so he does. Russ, I've got to do something else to help him.
Stacy, here you are. You left the courtroom as if you were never even there. Hi, Russ.
Remember?
What are you doing?
Stacy, come on, we don't have to throw insults at each other. We're on the same side. I can't believe the way you gave it to Dave in your testimony yesterday. It topped mine. Why didn't you tell me that you were planning it this way?
Get out of here. You get away from me. Russ,
I hear that you take care of your own. And I don't know exactly how to ask for it. But if you could see to it that Dave pulls through okay, that the truth would be exposed, then I'd really appreciate it. I hear you're the best judge of all. I mean,